Healthy land, so like all fountains, giving cheer that warms the soul.
Thank you very much, Kasim, a young man. Of course, you can see Flo here incorporating the youth and giving them the opportunity for exposure through our platform. At this time, we invite Father Nigel Karam to lead us in prayer. He's the Dean of the Rosa Cathedral.
Let us all listen to a text of Holy Scripture from the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8, verses 1 to 12. The whole people gathered as one in the open space before the water gate, and they called upon Ezra the scribe to bring forth the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord prescribed for Israel. On the first day of the 7th month, therefore, Ezra the priest brought the law before the assembly, which consisted of men, women, and children old enough to understand. Standing at one end of the open space that was before the water gate, he read out of the book from daybreak until midday in the presence of the men, the women, and those children old enough to understand. And all the people listened attentively to the book of the law. Ezra the scribe stood on a wooden platform which had been made for the occasion. He opened the scroll so that all the people might see it, and as he opened it, all the people rose. Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God, and all the people, with their hands raised, answered, Amen, Amen. Almighty and ever-living God, to whom all praise, thanksgiving, honor, power, and strength belong, you are the creator and guide of the whole cosmos, and you never abandon us. But you lead and direct all hearts that are open to you. You sent us your word through the prophets of old, and in the fullness of time sent us the word made flesh, Jesus, who is true wisdom and strength. Help us always to follow the teachings of his life, and so reach toward joy and happiness now and the fullness of life in eternity. As we gather to inaugurate the resumption of the festivities of Creole in the Park, we pray that it may be a true celebration of what is good and beautiful in our Dominican way of life. May it be a display of culture that enables us to aspire towards greater creativity and inspires us to live up to the ideals of commitment to country, community, courtesy, and compassion. Lord God, remove and keep away all elements of evil, excess, and exploitation. Keep our people from the misuse of and abuse of alcohol, illicit drugs, and indecent exposure of their bodies. Save all participants from violence and harm. Help us to balance both labor and leisure in our lives and to prioritize you, your word, and the Lord's Day, Sunday. We ask that our country and our people may worship God truly as people dedicated to you. Forgive us for the times that we neglect the Lord's Day and plan events that encroach on the sanctity and holiness of that day. May we not simply give lip service to you, but truly live by your word and celebrate our Christian culture. For after all, our motto proclaims, after Bon Dieu c'est la terre, and where the preamble of our Constitution of this Commonwealth declares, Dominica is founded on the principles that acknowledge the supremacy of God and faith, and where emblazoned on our flag in bright colors is the cross of our salvation. Let us never forget, Heavenly Father, our identity in Christ Jesus, our Savior and Redeemer. Give to all those who sponsor this event and to other festivities the wisdom and foresight to enable this true culture to flourish and not simply to foster a misrepresentation or caricature that passes for culture. Fill us all here present with that zeal for your love and goodness, and to live in ways that honor your word in our attitudes and actions. We make this prayer in the name of Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. And Father Karam has asked to be excused, so we allow him to exit. Good morning again, everyone, and welcome to the official media launch of the 14th edition of the biggest daytime event in Dominica during our independence celebrations. Let me acknowledge those who are present here with us this morning. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Mr. Roland Royer, and he's here representing Senator the Honorable Robert Tong, the Minister of that particular ministry, who is currently out of state and unavailable to be here with us. Mayor of Roseau, Her Worship Mrs. Irene John, Product Promotions Manager at the Discover Dominica Authority, Mrs. Kathleen Coffey John Jules, who is here as well, representing Mr. Colin Piper, the CEO of Discover Dominica Authority, who is also out of state and sent his excuses to us today. Director of Forestry, Mr. Minchington Burton, and other forestry officials who may be present here with us today. And for the first time, we're having a lady join us from the Dominica Police Force. We have Assistant Superintendent of Police, Mrs. Liana Edwards. We're happy to have you. The General Manager of Flow Dominica, Jeffrey Baptiste, and other members of staff, including members of the CITP Core Planning Committee. Miss Dominica, Marisol John, thank you for joining us, Marisol. Father Karam left us, but we were happy to have him here lead us in prayer this morning. We have our Flow Creole Lifetime Awardee. You may already suspect who he is, but I won't call his name until he receives his award. We also have our Special Employee Awardee, who I won't call his name as well until he receives his award. Our Flow Creole in the Park partners and sponsors who are present here this morning, those who are listening via radio, those who are still thinking, we hope that we convince you by the time this is over and done with this morning. Our other invited guests, our viewers on YouTube, and you are viewing using CITP Launch 2019. That's CITP Launch 2019, and we're also live on MO News on social media. We should also be live on all of the radio stations this morning, so we thank you for being here and for allowing the general public far and wide to be able to partake in what's happening here this morning. So again, good morning everybody and welcome. It is our pleasure to be here this morning. We know you missed us, but we are back in 2019 for the 14th edition of the Flow Creole in the Park. As I mentioned before, it is indeed the biggest daytime event during our independence celebrations. This year we are celebrating 41 years as an independent state, and we'll tell you about our 41 themed independence promotion as well throughout this function this morning. Now we know what you're here for. You're really here for the lineup. But there's some things that have to take place before you actually get the lineup. So let us begin. We invite from the Discover Dominica Authority, Product Development Manager, Kathleen Coffey John Jules, to share some remarks on behalf of the Discover Dominica Authority.
A pleasant good morning to everyone. Let me recognize Mr. Jeffrey Baptiste, General Manager, Flow Dominica, Mr. Roland Royer, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Senior Marketing and Communications Executive, Ms. Vidina Frampton, Our Lordship Mayor of Rosa, Mrs. John, our reigning Carnival Queen, representative from the police, ASP Edwards, our Director of Forestry, staff of Flow, or the invited guests, the media, good morning. It is indeed an honor to be part of this media launch for the 2019 edition of Flow's Creole in the Park. We at Discover Dominica Authority, we are elated that this event is part of our independence celebration, and it is an ideal fringe event for many visitors who will be gracing our shores to enjoy not only the 21st edition of the World Creole Music Festival, but also our 41st anniversary of independence. So we're very happy. Yes, Vadina, you were missed. The increasing visitor arrival during the week leading up to Creole in the Park is testament to the important economic contribution that this event and the positive impact on Dominica's economy through craft vendors, or many food vendors, or taxi drivers, or car rental companies, and all the other service providers who benefit from this event. As we embrace this independence season under the theme Saluting Resilience and Rejuvenation 2 years on, we look forward to living out this theme through the explosion of Creole food, which will entice our palates at Creole in the Park, and the energized lineup that we're anticipating for the 3 days. Discover Dominica Authority commends Flow for this initiative and wish to publicly state our support to the success of this year's Creole in the Park. For our financial and kind support, we are assured of this success. So we're delighted to have Creole in the Park back with us after a 2-year absence. So we welcome you back, and we are happy and yes, you were missed. I want to endorse that again, and we are just happy to have you as part of the independence calendar. So DDA is quite confident that the patrons will be as stimulated as ever in anticipation for the World Creole Music Festival following this great fringe event, Creole in the Park. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Mrs. Kathleen Coffey John Jules, the Product Development Manager at Discover Dominica Authority, here today speaking on behalf of Mr. Colin Piper. And we thank you for the support that Discover Dominica Authority is providing to us in assisting us in executing the 14th edition of our flagship event. Without a venue, there would be no Creole in the Park. Without permission from the Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division, there would be no Creole in the Park. And there is a gentleman who leads the Forestry Department who has had a very, very good relationship with Flow Dominica. Our GM can pick up the phone, make a call to him, have a conversation, and that is the kind of relationship that we have. And we're happy to have this type of relationship. And so we invite Mr. Minchington Burton, Director of Forestry, to share some brief remarks with us.
Thank you very much, Ms. Frampton, and all present here. Let me just recognize, of course, the presence of the General Manager of Flow, Mr. Jeffrey Baptiste, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Mr. Roland Royer, of course, Mrs. Kathleen Coffey John Jules, Product Development Officer at the Discover Dominica Authority, of course, ASP Edwards from the Dominica Police Force, and all other invited guests, other members of Flow, Ms. Dominica, and other members of the media, all those present, those listening via the various airwaves, good morning. I must say that I'm very happy to be here this morning once again to offer some brief remarks on this, the official launching ceremony of Flow Creole in the Park 2019, to be held at the Botanic Gardens. Since the inception of Creole in the Park, the Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division has partnered with Flow, formerly Cable and Wireless, and Lime, to host the Creole in the Park event, which has been rightfully described by many as the foremost holistic national cultural event on the island, showcasing the best of Dominica's Creole food, arts and craft, music and culture at the historic and scenic Botanic Gardens. Overall, it has indeed proven to be a very successful and beneficial collaborative relationship, whereby the telecommunications company Flow has been able to bring together thousands of Dominicans and visitors alike for 4 days to enjoy the best of Dominica's music, cuisine, and other cultural expressions, while enjoying and immersing themselves in this beautiful and breathtaking ambience that the Botanic Gardens has to offer. To my recollection, Creole in the Park event, organized by Flo, since it began, was only interrupted in 2015, I think, following the passage of Tropical Storm Erica, and again over the past 2 years, following the devastation wreaked on us by Hurricane Maria on September 18, 2017. Indeed, most of us would have witnessed the tremendous damage to the Dominica Botanic Gardens, which it suffered from the winds and waters from Maria, with many wondering when they awoke the following morning whether this beautiful site would ever rebound from such devastation. Today, all who visit this picturesque site can attest to the remarkable recovery which has taken place over the past 2 years since Maria's departure from our shores. We at the Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division, as custodians of the Botanic Gardens, are elated once again to partner with Flo in hosting this event in 2019. Over the years, the division has benefited much through the donation of parts of the proceeds of the gift receipts from Creole in the Park, which has enabled us to undertake a number of activities involving routine maintenance and enhancement within the gardens. These include, but not limited to, purchase of garden equipment, lawnmowers, brush cutters, head trimmers, etc., construction of the gazebo, installation of decorative pavers around the gazebo and around the various trees, park benches, purchase of ornamental plants, signage, interpretive displays, repair of the gates, reconstruction of equipment storage shed, among others. On this occasion, as we begin preparations again to stage this amazing event, I wish to appeal to the various patrons to Creole in the Park to help us in ensuring that the upkeep of the gardens, even while we go about enjoying ourselves and immersing in these 4 days of explosive cultural expressions. Vendors in particular should avoid driving across the lawns as much as possible while in the process of transporting the supplies and equipment. We'd also like to appeal to the motoring public to please cooperate with the police and security personnel by avoiding the parking of vehicles within the precincts of the Botanic Gardens during the staging of the event. Patrons are also advised to park outside as much as possible in order to avoid parking on the lawns and damage to ornamental plants and garden fixtures. Together, let's make this year's Creole in the Park the biggest and best of all other such events held in previous years, while ensuring that we respect and protect our treasured Botanic Gardens, which all of us will continue to look forward to enjoying and using long after this 4-day event has folded. I wish again to congratulate Flo for once again taking up the financial and organizational responsibilities to put on this event for the Dominican public. I also wish to everyone gathered here and those listening via the airwaves a happy and enjoyable Independence Day. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burton, and I hope everyone adheres and respects your wishes in terms of keeping to the rules of the botanical gardens. As we prepare for our next speaker, I want to say that Flo Creole in the Park has had a reputation for being generally incident-free. People come there to have a good time, to enjoy themselves. However, we must always remind them what the consequences are if they choose to do otherwise. And so I, with pleasure, invite Assistant Superintendent Leanna Edwards from the Dominica Police Force to share some remarks.
A pleasant good morning to everyone here and the listening audience. Protocol has already been established. As you were told, I am Leanna Edwards, Assistant Superintendent of Police in the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, in charge of the Central Division. The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force is pleased to be once again working in collaboration with Flo Dominica. These two organizations have developed a strong workable partnership over the years, and the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force is grateful for this partnership. I want to publicly thank Flo Dominica on behalf of the Chief of Police, Mr. Daniel Carbon, and the Police Welfare Association for their generous contribution by handing over the bar to the Police Welfare Association, which has greatly assisted them financially. I will continue by providing a few guidelines as it relates to security and traffic control for the staging of Flow Creole in the Park, which is scheduled to take place from the 22nd to the 24th of October 2019 at the Botanic Gardens from 12 noon to 7 p.m. The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force will endeavor to ensure that the event is staged in a safe and secure environment where patrons can relax and enjoy Dominica's culture. In order for this to be done, the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force will take a three-phase approach to policing this event, which is venue security, crowd control, and traffic management. Venue security. 2 gates will be utilized as entry points. The main entrance to the venue will be on Valley Road, close to the Roseau Health Center, and the secondary entrance will be on Emsall Road, close to the University of the West Indies. The VIP entrance will be the northeastern gate at the intersection of Emsall Road and Valley Road. Patrons exiting the venue will do so on Valley Road by using the gate immediately behind the Botanic Gardens Pavilion and also the Bath Road gate. All gates at the Botanic Gardens will be manned by police officers and support from private security. The police will be conducting robust searching of all patrons entering the venue, and no weapons will be permitted to the venue. The police will be firm with regard to the patrons carrying offensive weapons, such as knives, cutlasses, scissors, ice pick, nail files, and utility multi-tools, etc. Anyone found carrying these weapons will be removed from the venue and dealt with according to law. Licensed firearm holders will not be allowed to access the venue with their firearms. I therefore appeal to the general public to work with the police and avoid the embarrassment of having to be arrested and taken to police headquarters. Crowd control. Police officers will be patrolling the grounds and ensure that law and order prevails, and that patrons participating in this event do so without interruption or by persons who are criminally inclined. Traffic management. The Traffic Department of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force will implement a few temporary measures in the city of Roseau during the hosting of the 14th Flow Creole in the Park. These measures will be revealed closer to the scheduled date of the event at a police press conference. In closing, I want to wish Flow Dominica a successful event on behalf of the Chief of Police and the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force. I am also appealing to the general public to work in collaboration with the police in order that we have a safe and incident-free Creole in the Park 2019. Dominica belongs to all of us, and the onus is on each of us to make Dominica peaceful. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Leanna Edwards, and please relay to your Commissioner our thanks and gratitude for the support provided by the Dominica Police Force and for your presence here this morning. We already have some partners who have come on board for this year's Flow Creole in the Park, and we want to use this forum to encourage and entice others who have not yet decided to come and join us and be part of this great event. I will use the opportunity to highlight some of those who have already come on board with us. We are always grateful to the government of Dominica for their support, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Discover Dominica Authority, the Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division, the Dominica Police Force, the Dominica National Lottery, Petro-Carib, Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited, J. Astafan and Company Limited, Tropical Shipping, Sunstone, Dawasco, Deepex Scholar Lab, the Government Information Service, DBS Radio, Kyrie FM, Vibes Radio, and the Q95 FM radio. So these are our initial partners, but we know that this list is going to grow, is going to expand a bit, and we will be welcoming some other partners to join us for the execution and presentation of this year's Creole in the Park. Now, as I mentioned just a while ago, you would have heard me indicate that the Ministry of Tourism and Culture is one of our partners this year, and a very successful meeting was actually held with the Minister of Tourism, following which, we got some good news that the Ministry of Tourism would be providing a lot more support than in the past this time around, and we are very grateful and thankful for that. Mr. Roland Royer is the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, and he's here today on behalf of Senator Robert Tong, the Minister of Tourism, who is out of state and unable to join us. Mr. Royer.
Thank you, Fidena. Mayor of Roseau, Mrs. Irene John, GM of Flow, Mr. Jeffrey Baptiste, Mrs. John Gills, Product Development Manager of DDA, Mr. Burton, Director of Forestry, ASP Edwards of Dominica Police Force, Miss Dominica 2019, all invited guests, media, good morning. I am extremely pleased to bring you greetings on behalf of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture at today's official media launch for the 14th edition of Flow Creole in the Park, an explosion of Creole food, arts and craft, music and culture. We are indeed delighted to have the Flow Creole in the Park back on the calendar of events for activities in celebration of our country's 41st anniversary of independence, and look forward to this grand explosion of our main culture attributes. Creole in the Park always excites us, particularly for its unique position as the leading daytime event for the Creole Week celebrations in Dominica. For 14 years, you have maintained your unique position as a leading daytime event, exciting young and old, returning national, as well as a large number of visitors who are usually here for the World Creole Music Festival and other independence activities. In 2018, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, with support from private sector, including Flow Dominica, worked extremely hard to fill the void that was left as a result of Flow's decision to take a break following the passage of Hurricane Maria in 2017 by staging what we call Creole Rendezvous. These efforts highlighted the value of Flow Creole in the Park on the Independence calendar, and we are certain that your return will be greater and create a bigger buzz among visiting festival patrons who are looking to be fully entertained during the entire stay with us this year for what is expected to be the most highly anticipated festival season. The Government of Dominica, through the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, is happy to announce its continued support to Flow Creole in the Park by providing sponsorship of $30,000, $10,000 cash through the Discover Dominica Authority, and $20,000 kind in support of purchase of material for the setting up of the venue. As customary, DDA will continue to provide additional in-kind support. Flow Creole in the Park has been a major platform for exposing emerging musical artistic talents and for providing a much needed venue for the sale of authentic local art, craft, food, and other local products. We have been extremely pleased with the contribution by Flow over these years, and they being able to invest financial and human resources to keep the event going for such a long time. But what is more fascinating about Creole in the Park is that it is held at the most convenient time, in the week when we celebrate our Creole heritage. You help to keep us focused on our Creoleness, and you inspire the younger generation with the quality of the music, the local cuisine on offer, and the high-quality local products on display and on sale. Today, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture wants to salute the management and staff of Flow for your relentless effort in contributing to making the independence celebrations such an exciting, colorful, and high-quality entertainment. Thanks for your continued excellent planning and execution of Creole in the Park each and every year. You have given our artists a platform to release their creativity and talent, and giving us as citizens and visitors a most amazing space to meet and to be entertained. Let me wish you every success for another year of celebration and fun, and let's hope you can help us raise more money to support conservation programs here on our Nature Isle. With that, I want to wish everybody a happy Independence 2019. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Royer, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. And they come so nicely together, especially for an event like Creole in the Park. So where are we now in our program? We are at the point in our program where we are going to be doing some recognition. Now, you know that Flow doesn't always come for the party, for the good time, the bands and all of that. For us, it is serious business in terms of the recognition of the culture, the heritage of our country. And so in so doing, we also take some time to acknowledge and recognize those who have in some way contributed significantly to our Creole culture. But internally, we also have a history of recognizing our own. And we came up with a special employee recognition award that is given to a member of staff, very customary, a member of the core planning committee, who has played a significant role in the execution and rollout of Creole in the Park. A few of us have already received that award, and today another colleague is going to receive that special recognition award. At this time, I would like to invite the General Manager of Flow Dominica, Jeffrey Baptiste, to please come forward. And I will ask Mr. Edgar Peltier to accompany him up front. All right. Today, it is with immense pleasure that we continue the tradition of honoring one of our own for their contribution to the successful execution and staging of Flow's flagship Creole in the Park event. This individual is considered to be a star employee who is not only critical in leading the finance workflow for Creole in the Park, but in his substantive role as the main man heading the finance department at Cable and Wireless Flow Dominica. Edgar Peltier has been an employee at Cable and Wireless for approximately 20 years and has contributed immeasurably to the staging of Creole in the Park. He was there from the inception and served as part of the core planning committee. Over the years, Peltier has delivered his all and nothing less in his work at Flow. serving in the capacity of Financial Accounting Reporting Officer, and each year he has carried his passion and admiration for his job into his work within Creole in the Park. As part of the core planning committee, Edgar is responsible for setting the budget and monitoring expenses to ensure there's little or no overruns. This has proven to be a key and integral component in ensuring Flow's ability to deliver a superior Creole in the Park event while remaining on budget. His diligence, passion, and commitment truly makes him deserving of this special recognition and reward. The Board of Directors, Management, and staff of Flow congratulates Edgar Peltier, the 2019 recipient of the Flow Creole in the Park Special Employee Recognition Award for 2019. I now invite Ms. Dominica to present the award to Mr. Baptist for presentation. Edgar Peltier. Congratulations to Edgar Peltier on receiving the Special Employee Recognition Award in recognition for his sterling contribution to the successful execution of the Flow Creole in the Park. Congratulations to you, Edgar, and this is coming from, I speak on behalf of all of your colleagues when we say congratulations and well done. All right, Mr. Baptist, please remain here. And at this time, I will hand over the microphone to this beautiful cultural icon who has also received the Creole Lifetime Award, the beautiful Pearl Christian. We call her affectionately Auntie Pearl.
Is it? Sorry. Playing technician, sorry. So it should go up a little bit. Flow Creole Lifetime Award presented to Fred Anthony Nicholas. Thank you, Mr. Baptist. On July 4th, 1956, a star was born. His mother, Frederica Elise, and father, Cecil Nicholas, named him Fred Anthony Nicholas. Fred grew up in Roseau, where he and his siblings, a sister and two brothers, went to school. Music was a prominent element in young Fred's environment. His mother's beautiful, angelic voice filled his home with endless melody, and his father played the accordion as a pastime. But it was an older student and guitar enthusiast, Severin Bunch, who got him hooked on music. Whenever the young student visited his home, Fred would grab the opportunity to take up his friend's guitar and delight himself, picking out melodies. It was a rich artistic time in the Roseau area. The place was teeming with good bands like the Boys and Them, Wooden Stool, Naked Feet, and Fred's talent was nurtured in that rich environment. He set his sights on the bass guitar, and his fate was sealed. When he got his first acoustic guitar, he modified it, making his first bass guitar. At age 13, Fred and a few of his music-loving friends formed their first band, The Snows. The youngsters came over to his house to rehearse, and their first gig was at a wedding reception. It was an exciting milestone in Fred's musical journey. For the first time, the Snows would display their musical prowess on electric instruments. Fred grew up in the days when the federal palm and federal maple plied the waters connecting the Lesser Antilles. On a whim, young Fred got on the federal palm and made his way to Grenada, where he stayed with a family who owned a band. For 3 months, Fred was immersed in music. On his return, he and a few young boys with like passion formed the band Wafrica and produced the album Revolution du Candas. Fred developed as a bass player, participating in many courses and workshops, practicing his instrument for long hours with focus and discipline. His polished skills were sought after by some of the best in the field of popular music and jazz. He played with a number of bands and solo artists, including Billow Men, Emphasis, Swing Stars, and Ophelia, always striving for excellence and in the process ensuring that the resulting musical product was of the highest standard. He was contracted by the ever-popular Calypsonian from Montserrat, the Mighty Arrow, and for 7 years, Fred worked alongside the entertainer, touring extensively regionally and internationally. After that stint, Fred, with his finely honed skills, freelanced as a bass player. He accompanied local artists, played on special band projects, and was often selected to accompany visiting singers, including calypso giants like the Mighty Sparrow, Gypsy, and the Mighty Bomber. Fred was and is also dedicated to assisting young musical groups. As a member of the Sixth Form Cicero Singers Instrumental Folk Ensemble, he has played on 20 of that group's 22 annual productions. Periodically, over the course of its existence, he accompanied the Carey School of Music Children's Choir, and currently he willingly accompanies the Children's Choir of the Dominica Institute for the Arts. On every occasion, Fred brings a high level of professionalism to any group with which he is involved. He is punctual, present, and perfectly rehearsed, and invariably displays a highly disciplined and respectful character within the ensemble. Fred has sought to pass on his skills as a bass player, having taught a number of young players, some of whom have developed into very accomplished musicians like Eddie Angol, Gomez Drigo, and Junior Del Sol. Fred established a recording studio called Home Alone Studio, where he produces and scores many songs for artists preparing to enter various local competitions like the NCCU Canas Contest, Song Contest, the DBS Christmas Song Contest, the Domfesta Song Contest organized by the Division of Culture, and the Dominica Association's keenly contested Calypso competition. He is the arranger of all of King Dice's slow calypsos. As a solo recording artist, Fred has produced 3 albums, Sakafet, Let's Sing, and Poor God. These contain a mix of original music and covers of some popular songs. Fred has been presented with many awards and accolades for his outstanding contribution to popular music on the island, 2 of the top being the Golden Drum Award, presented by the National Cultural Council, and the Meritorious Service Award, presented by the Government of Dominica. Fred has 3 children and 9 adorable grandchildren whom he dotes on in between freelancing as a solo bass player here and abroad, running his Home Alone studio, and doing bass playing tutorials on demand. Today, it is with great pleasure that Flo presents you, Fred Anthony Nicholas, with the Flo Creole Lifetime Award for your dedicated service to the development of music in Dominica and the region.
I think we should stand up and give this gentleman a resounding round of applause. I mean, after listening to Pearl Christian, I think he deserves it. Congratulations to you again, Fred Nicholas, on behalf of all of us at Cable and Wireless Flo Dominica. If you wish, we would like to allow you an opportunity to just share a couple of words with us on receiving this award. I should also mention, Jeffrey, you may take your seat, and Marisol, thank you very much as well, Miss Dominica. I should also mention that this award, so we don't just give awards, we give awards and we give a monetary contribution as well. So this award also comes with $1,500 as a cash prize as well. And I also, before Freddie comes to the mic, I also want to single out Auntie Pearl, as we call her, because Auntie Pearl has done this for us religiously, voluntarily. She does not get paid. She does not ask for anything in return. She takes her time. She does her research. She does what she needs to do. And she finds herself here on the day we need her. And she does such a beautiful job. So I think we should say thank you to her. Freddie.
Yeah, I'm so overwhelmed by all this, you know. Thank you, Flo. This is special. This is very special. I know you had quite a few people you could that could be receiving something like that, and the mere fact that my name came up and I was chosen, this is special. I'm not a man of many words, so I have to do a performance here, so I figure I will do it rather on the guitar.
Thank you, Freddie. And that was an easy one. I'm not going to put Jeffrey on this spot, but that was one Jeffrey just laid on the table. Yes, he always looks forward to seeing you at Creole in the Park. I'll tell you this much. He's one of your fans. Okay, just so you know. All right, so Freddie's going to get ready to do a number for us as well. So again, we really use this opportunity during Creole in the Park to recognize our people for their hard work, for their commitment, for their dedication, especially as it relates to our culture and our heritage. And so we are very happy again to bestow this award today on Freddie Nicholas. Again, just acknowledging our partners while Freddie just tunes up and makes sure that everything is okay. We want to thank the government of Dominica, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Discover Dominica Authority, Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division, the Dominica Police Force, Dominica National Lottery, Petro-Carib, Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited, J. Astafan and Company Limited, Tropical Shipping, Sunstone, Dewasco, Deepex Color Lab, the Government Information Service, DBS Radio, Vibes Radio, Q95 FM, and Kyrie FM. And as I said, those of you who still have our proposals, you're pondering, you're considering, then we do hope that you will come back to us in the positive and join us on this journey to the return of Creole in the Park this year at the Botanical Gardens in the city, Roseau. Over to Freddie.
Okay, it's my partner Jerry Moore. Going to accompany me. This tune is called Sakafet. It's like, what's up, what's up? Yeah?
Awesomeness. Definitely something of a difference from what we traditionally do at the media launch of Creole in the Park. And it's called What's Happening? What's Going On, Friday? Sakafet. But Sakafet, okay. What's up? What's going on? Well, Creole in the Park launch, that's what's up. All right, thank you so much, Freddie. We really greatly appreciate this, and thank you for being here with us this morning. We congratulate you again. All right. We still have something to do before the lineup. We're partnering with two major activities for the independent season, and these two activities are Infinite Entertainment's Rise and Wine and Danger Dane's Independence Go Well. And so, yes, I know, right? So I'm going to invite Danger Dane, who is here. Dane Smalling is actually his name. Danger Dane is Jamaican, recently got his Dominican citizenship, so he's Dominican now, Jamaican Dominican. So we're happy to have Dane here to speak to us about Independence Go Well.
Well, good afternoon. Protocol has been established. Independence Gopal, you'll ask why Gopal? Because it's, to me, the meaning is something that you miss, right? I came here 2008, which was a reunion year. So guess what? I had to wait 10 years until I got to our next reunion, and I really miss the fun that I had coming to Dominica the first time, 2008. So I really miss that time. So I always wanted, I couldn't wait for that time to come back again. So last year we did the reunion Gopal because I've been missing it for 10 years, right? So Dominica, people will say we're lacking nightlife, especially during the festive season. So I just wanted to give visitors, I'm normally doing my thing for the Dominicans living here, but I just wanted to do something for the visitors coming down, enjoying Creole in the Park and other festivities during that time. I wanted to give them something to go to. So I saw it fitting to keep this. This date also marks my arrival to Dominica. So it means 11 years in Dominica. So it's something that's going to go on. And we just keep trying to keep it going. Again, give thanks to all the sponsors who came on board. Heineken that partnering with me for this one, and also Flow. Without them, it would be impossible. This is just an idea, and we're growing, and nothing can stop a good idea from getting out there. So we keep growing every year, and we're just putting it out early as possible. And with our sponsors, we're just putting our best foot forward. So thanks again for having me. Independence Gopal, October the 23rd, we have some of the biggest names in terms of DJs in the region. The two top DJs in the region, DJ Private Ryan and also DJ Puffy from Barbados, who is the now champion, reigning champion, Red Bull Freestyle champion, which is a world championship, and he's the champion. We also have Booyah as well. We cannot leave out the Booyah. This is Dominica. We have Rio, we have Trilogy, we have DJ Flip the Boss, the #1 Booyah DJ, I would say, in the entire world. Nobody is stronger than him in Booyah. We're just going to have a good time. And it's the 23rd of October. Thank you very much for having me. Thanks to Flo.
Thank you very much, Danger. Our representative from Rise and Wine is here? Yes. Oh, that's you, Kellyanne. All right. Unofficially, but that's all right. You can step in, and that's an excellent thing. So Kellyanne Williams will speak on behalf of Rise and Wine.
Good morning to all, and thank you to our platinum partner, Flo, for inviting us here to be part of this launch. We are excited to bring you details of the second edition of our premium breakfast event, Rise and Wine, which will be held on October 20th from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Zaman Park in Belfast. This will be a warm-up to Creole in the Park and World Creole Music Festival. So we are inviting visitors who have not yet booked their flights or ferry tickets to come to the island on Saturday the 19th to experience a full lineup of activities for the independence season. Rise and Wine, for those who attended last year, can tell you this was not just another fete. It was vibes from 3 in the morning to, I think, 12 noon. It is a premium, all-inclusive experience, breakfast experience, with stellar entertainment, breathtaking decor, tantalizing food, premium drinks, and unlimited vibes. And this year will be no different. We have an all-star lineup of a diverse blend of some of the best local, regional, and international talent, to include DJ Mad Russian from New York, DJ Charlotte from Trinidad, Just Jay from Barbados, Blackberry Song Crew, who represents Dominica in the US and Canada, Unstoppable DJs, DJ Snow, Mr. Benji N2 and Kendall from Triple K, Patrick the Hikeman Anthony, and Skinny Fabulous of Family Fame. We have moved the venue from Old Mill to Zaman Park, Belfast, and parking will not be a problem as we have arranged parking in the empty lot near the Belfast Bridge. There will be security and lighting, and for those who may not want to walk, there will be a shuttle at the cost of only $1. This is a ticket-only event. There will be no tickets sold at the gate. So we encourage you to buy your tickets online at caribtix.com or the local box office at Deepex Color Lab, Garaway Enterprises, Bullseye Pharmacy in Goodwill, or the committee members. You may also follow us on IG and Facebook at Infinite Entertainment 767. This year for the ladies, we'll be adding an extra feature, a glitter bar. So you'll be able to upgrade your look or your outfit. This will be free from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. In case the guys want to up it also, they are welcome to the glitter bar. In closing, I would like to thank the partners, Flow Dominica, Discover Dominica Authority, King Ocean, Petrocarib, Liat, We Forward, Deepex, Escape Bar Grill, 100% green, we are going green, Archipelago Trading, Dewars, the official whiskey of Rise and Wine 2019, Caribbean, HHV Research and Company Limited, Renaissance Designs, Essential Designs, Party Shack, Saga Carriers, Innovate Multimedia, Redbox Solutions, Providence Trucking and Taxi Services, GBA Enterprises, for all your cocktails, GX Songs, and our media partner, Kyrie FM. So see you all at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. You have enough time to sleep the evening before to wake up at 3 a.m. to join us at Rise and Wine. Thank you.
What's the glitter bar? The glitter bar. Okay, Lorraine, we in that? The glitter bar. All right. Thank you very much, Kellyanne. So these two main activities outside of our flagship event that we're staging, we are very, very pleased to be supporting these two activities, and we encourage everyone to go out and support these as well. One more thing before the lineup. I promise you'll have it soon. So in keeping in line with our 41st anniversary of independence, we are also launching today officially our independence promotion, and I'm going to share some of it with you. So let me talk first about our fixed and postpaid element. 41 subscribers, 41, who sign up for a bundle or postpaid plan will qualify for a chance to receive a 41% discount of their first month's rental. 41, 41. We'll do draws weekly, and we'll do draws until the end of October. In terms of our prepaid subscribers, those of you who activate a 7 or 30-day always on, always connected prepaid combo plan. Now you know about those really nice plans that we have, right? With the anywhere local minutes and all the gigabytes of data and all that good stuff. Right. With 41% more, the 7-day plan subscribers will receive 4.2 gigabytes of data, 1,000 local anywhere minutes, and of course when we speak about anywhere minutes, we mean that you can use your minutes to call Flow Mobile and also that of the competitor. You have 1,000 local anywhere SMS and unlimited social media messaging through Swift. I know by now you know what Swift is. Our 30-day plan will include 14 gigabytes of data, 1,400 local anywhere minutes, 1,000 local anywhere SMS, and again, unlimited social media messaging through Swift. So we're joining Dominica in celebrating 41 years of independence, and we're giving back to you 41% in various areas, as you just heard me share. Okay, what's the time now? We talked enough, right? It's 10 past 12 GM. Okay, do I have permission, sir, to proceed? I do. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've kept you waiting for long enough. We are ready now to present you with the performance lineup for the 2019 14th edition of the Cable and Wireless Flow Dominica Creole in the Park. Hit it, Dixon. Over 30 mind-blowing, exhilarating, and exciting performing acts. 30 mind-blowing, exhilarating, and exciting performing acts. 3 electrifying days of authentic, unforgettable performances intertwined with the most delectable Creole food, enticing local cultural music and performances, and beautiful art and craft, staged at the most tranquil and beautiful botanical gardens in the heart of Roseau. This is the 14th edition of the biggest daytime event in Dominica during our independence celebrations. This is the Flow Creole in the Park, and now we present the performance lineup for the Flow Creole in the Park 2019. The Flow Creole in the Park kicks off on Tuesday, October 22nd with the new and refreshing sounds of the talented Smith Brothers.
Followed by the reggae dancehall artist who continues to grow by leaps and bounds, Colton T.
Some man a pre-house and car, but me say me a pre-life. And anything when me can't die with, me won't get a fight.
The day builds up with the pulsating kada sounds of the legendary Midnight Groovers. And as the sun sets, the Swinging Stars Band and the Calypso Connection.
Featuring Webb, Tasha P, Lugas, Checo, Observer, Intruder, Sour, Kings, Bob, and Caressa.
And the reigning 9-time monarch, King Dice, will close off day one.
But I sing for my brothers, sing of our ancestors before we.
The sweet sounds of steel from the experienced Phase 5 gets things started on day 2.
Then it's over to the new generation of Booyah artists, featuring Zone Rouge, Quan, Trilogy, DJ MJ, Fetty Mark, Kex Mafia, and Rio.
The next act on stage will give a masterful combination of French Creole influenced music and Kadas Ecstasy Band.
WCK, yes, WCK never disappoints with some of the sweetest Booyah compositions ever produced. WCK is on.
The vibe at the Botanic Gardens on day number 2 builds up when the young men who are changing the face of Booyah music bring the love and more. It's our very own Signal Band.
And to bring the curtains down on the second day of the Flow Creole in the Park,
we head over to the land of soca music and selected an artist who has given us great soca hits like
Splinters, No Behavior, Party With Love, Bumper Trending, Hit Tune, and more.
From the island of Trinidad and Tobago, the land of soca greats, we bring you Charles Marshall.
On day number 3, the final day of the Flow Creole in the Park, we start off with female Booyah royalty, Dominica's Queen of Booyah, Carleen XP.
The high energy and versatility of the first Serenade Band will have you on your feet for their entire time on stage.
Then make way for the prince of all princes, the Prince of Booyah, the Booyah boss, the man taking Dominica's Booyah music to the world. Get ready to do something crazy with Asa Banta. Do something crazy. Do something crazy.
As we get ready to bring an end to the 14th edition of the Flow Creole in the Park, Flow is bringing a special treat for fans both young and old.
He's a reggae songwriter and producer with hits like One in a Million, Fall in Love, Missing You, I Care for You, and Never Diss the Man.
Dominica, the international reggae superstar from Jamaica, Sanchez. Sanchez and his band are coming to Dominica for the Flow Creole in the Park.
You can't afford to miss the 14th edition of the Flow Creole in the Park.
Steel pan, jingping, drumming, cultural performances, DJs, local and foreign performing acts. Come to the Botanical Gardens, experience the cultural art forms, enjoy the music, and meet friends. Bring the entire family to the #1 daytime event in Dominica as we celebrate 41 years as an independent state.
October 22nd to the 24th, 2019, at the beautiful Botanical Gardens, 12 noon to 7 p.m.
Looking forward to seeing you there. Before I invite the General Manager, Jeffrey Baptiste, up to commend Unite, Sheldon Kazumi, and Norris Francois for the production and doing an excellent job with doing the production work on the Flow Creole in the Park. And of course, you would have recognized the voice of Danger Din there supporting me with that. Yes? Okay, so something was just pointed out in the production. Freddie and friends are also part of that production. Oh my goodness, we do apologize for that, Freddie, but we will definitely fix that, and it will be included before it goes out, okay? Yes. And we did look at it, but you know, sometimes that happens. But yes, so Jeffrey, it is now your turn to come up. Jeffrey has traditionally spoken after the line-up presentation. So over to Jeffrey.
Sorry. How did we miss that, though?
I don't know.
Freddie, we apologize, but you know your fixture on our Creole in the Park lineup. Good afternoon. I think my task should be very easy for them to say thank you very much to everyone for coming, and that's it. Let me recognize the PS in the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Mr. Roland Roye, and I don't have your stuff in front of me, but I could use my, where's your, good. Yeah, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Mr. Roland Roye, representing the Senator, the Honorable Robert Tong, Mayor of Roseau, Her Worship, Mrs. Irene John, thank you very much for joining us here this morning, this afternoon. Promotions Manager of the Discover Dominica Authority, Mrs. Kathleen Coffey John Jules, thank you very much. And Kathleen is also representing Mr. Colin Piper, who is the Executive Director of the DDA. Director of Forestry, Mr. Minchington Burton, and other forestry officials. We have, Ferdinand is absolutely correct, we have a very special relationship with Minchi. From day one, he has been very, very cooperative and goes out of his way, I must admit, to support Cable and Wireless in our venture that is Creole in the Park. Acting Superintendent of Police, Mrs. Leanna Edwards, thank you very much. We also do have and continue to maintain a very special relationship with the Dominica Police Service, and we thank you very much for that. Members of our CITP Core Planning Committee and other flow colleagues, thank you very much. I see Lauren Mitchell, who is our commercial manager, Daniel Marie, Deidre, Latoya, and Vanalda. And I'm not sure, but Niron, and a few others in the back. Thank you very much, team. Pearl Christian, thank you very much for being a consistent supporter of our company. The Miss Dominica, Miss Marisol John, thank you very much for assisting us here this morning. Father Nigel Karam, who left, but again, let me recognize his presence and for assisting us with the opening prayer this morning. Let me, in a special way, recognize my friend, and I stand proudly to say that Mr. Fred Nicholas is a friend, someone that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. So thank you very much, Freddie, for being a guide and being a shining example of really pioneering and creating a better place for those of us who follow after in this beautiful country, Dominica. Edgar Peltier, my very esteemed colleague, and while Edgar is sitting here receiving what I know, several things might be running through his mind in terms of budget and accountability, and Edgar must be saying I make his job very difficult, and I must admit sometimes I do. So Edgar has this unique position where I hold him accountable for staying in line with budget, but very often I'm the one who says, let's do it. And then I get him to answer why we're above budget. But we do it for a good cause. So the media, I always say the value of the product can be as good as it is, but if you don't get it out to the population, it really has diminishing value. And I always appreciate you for being here with us in all our activities. And of course, our radio listeners and the other mediums that people are listening to this activity right now. So for me, coming last always has its challenges, but I'll try to do justice to your program. I think firstly I must start by again congratulating our awardees. I think you couldn't get a better example of humility and respect than Freddie Nicholas. They say often when you look at a musician, musicians can be eccentric. I say they operate from a different place. If you had to do some testing on the minds of musicians, I'm sure the brain cells operate in a different way than us normal people. But Freddie, in some unique way, has been able to maintain that humility, that respect in all his talents. I've never met someone who is more respectful than Freddie, and I always make the joke, and we've shared it on a couple of occasions, and I may want to do it now. If I'm walking and I'm coming around a corner, and I walk into a commotion, when I look to my left, I see Freddie Nicholas. Whoever is standing to his right or standing in front of him is wrong, naturally, in my eyes. I need not ask what is going on. Whoever that other person is, I'm sure, in some way would have been the aggressor. But again, it speaks to the caliber of the person. And I think when we do these presentations, they're generally symbolic in nature. You give an award. In this case, we gave Freddie a plaque. And as we have done over the years, we've given him a check with some cash. But I think it has to go beyond this. It can't just be symbolic. I think it has to be a behavior change in how we deal and treat with these people once we recognize them for the pioneering work that they have done. And I've always made that point in Dominica, though, that developing and building a country has to go beyond just the symbolic things that we do. And my personal view is, in some way, Freddie, we have to find a way, and I say we, Cable and Wireless Flow, and other institutions, maybe like the DDA, the Ministry of Tourism, to change our behavior towards people like you. And I'm putting this forward not necessarily as a criticism, but my humble suggestion in terms of how we really add value to what we're doing here today. And there are several simple ways I think we can do it. I think, for one, if I may, just offer a suggestion. I think having Freddie and Friends as a fixture on the Jazz and Creole lineup is one simple way I think we can do it. Because we have made a commitment at Creole in the Park that we, at least I certainly, and I've never gotten any resistance from my team, we will not have a Creole in the Park event without Freddie and Friends being on the lineup. That's a decision I took maybe several years ago, and I've held to it. We have to find a spot. And I think that is the way we can, in a tangible way, show the respect and the recognition for people who have gone on and pioneered. I think the DDA can do it. I think Jazz and Creole, I think, is a good platform where, without thinking twice, that once you sit and you put the lineup together, there must be a place for Freddie and Friends. Whether it be just as a backup band, maybe backing up some of our talented musicians or vocalists, but I think there needs to be a place for Freddie. I think he's earned his place, and we need to recognize him for that. One other simple way I think we can do it as well, and I say simple, again, not a criticism, but my humble suggestion, could be to always ensure that when we host the World Music Creole Festival, there's a package that is nicely enveloped and delivered to Freddie's house, which maybe just has enclosed in it 2 VIP tickets or 2 tickets to the World Creole Music Festival. With a nice cover letter saying, we hereby enclose 2 tickets to the World Creole Music Festival, addressed to you, and hand-delivered to your residence. I think it's a simple way we can actually show that we are serious about recognizing the contributions you've made over the years. So I say we have to move beyond just the symbolic things that we do. And I'm saying that, Freddie, because I genuinely believe that this is how we can move our development agenda forward. And when we give you that respect, they say generally it is not what you do, but how someone makes you feel that matters. And I think it's just one simple way we can do it. I just wanted to take the opportunity to put my suggestions on the table, and I hope they will be. Right? Edgar, again, I offer my deepest commendations to you and my congratulations to you for the recognition you've received here today. I think this is a very simple one for us. What we have committed to do is, over the years, there have been colleagues who've been part of the CITP planning committee from the inception, and I always make the point that we do not pay our colleagues 1 cent more for getting involved in the planning and execution of Creole in the Park. In fact, very often we hold them, accountable for all their tasks. But if no, and Fudana is smiling because she knows it, there's no flexibility given for dropping the ball in your substantive role while you pursue your actions at Creole in the Park. So it's tough. But our colleagues, they have done it diligently over the years, and Edgar has been one person who has had to maintain the financial responsibility, the financial accountability for the execution of the event, while in parallel he's doing the same for our wider business. And we have never let off, and he's never asked us for 1 cent more for doing it. And he's been doing this from the first edition from 2003 to now, with the same passion, the same energy, and he continues to do it without any pushing, any prompting. So I thank you very much for that, Edgar. I think, for me, it's again recognizing our corporate partners. While we say we've been the implementers, we conceptualized Creole in the Park. The first edition was held in 2003, but we have done it with the support of the business community. And when we speak to the uniqueness of CITP, part of what we speak to is maybe the only event in Dominica where you have corporate partners coming together, standing all for the same cause. And that cause has always been and will continue to be the preservation and promotion of our cultural heritage. And it is that one place you can go to and see other corporate partners displaying their brand, but all engage in the same activity, which is to promote and preserve the cultural heritage of Dominica. We have never had any significant resistance from our corporate partners. Granted, you may have some on instances who may be unable to give us the type of cash injection that we need, but they've always supported us in kind, and we continue to get that level of support. So I want to say thank you very much to our corporate partners for your continued support. Again, I think for Cable and Wireless, it's really about maintaining our passion, maintaining our commitment towards the preservation and promotion of our cultural heritage. We do Creole in the Park not because it's a nice to do. When we conceptualized the event many years ago, what we saw, though, is that while the government had invested very heavily in the launch and the implementation of the World Creole Music Festival, we still had a void. We had a gap. That people generally were coming to Dominica just for the weekend of the World Creole Music Festival. And if you go back to the records, and I'm sure the statistics, Kathy, are there, that in the early days of the World Creole Music Festival, the visitors were really getting to Dominica the Thursday, the Friday, and then they were going into the weekend, and then they left the following, the Monday, right? And we, as a responsible corporate entity, always thinking about how can we add our own value towards the wider development of our country, felt that the implementation of an activity that can to that 1 week period preceding the World Creole Music Festival maybe was the right thing to do. And so Creole in the Park was conceptualized and it was implemented 14 years ago. We have seen the benefits. We do not really take the statistics, but we would want to offer that we are absolutely convinced that there is a trickle-down benefit across the economy. The taxi drivers, the hotels, the bars, the restaurants, I think every sector of this economy benefits from the implementation of Creole in the Park. And I want to make the point now that this is something that we will continue to do. We had to change gears a bit 2 years ago, well, in 2015 and 2018, not because we wanted to, but because we were forced to. Our core business was severely impacted by the ravages of first Tropical Storm Erica in 2015, and we had to do the right thing. So while we do Creole in the Park, we recognize always that our core business is that of telecommunications. And so in 2015, we had to just rejig our priorities, and we had to focus on really rebuilding our telecoms infrastructure in Dominica, and we had to set aside CITP. That's the first time we actually deferred the event. In 2018, there is no need to add more commentary around it. We were still in the early period of the recovery stage, and we were building back our network that was totally devastated from Hurricane Maria. And we felt at the time that it was going to be reckless for us to change our focus away from our core business, as opposed to being squarely focused on building back the telecommunications infrastructure. 2 years in the entire period that we have not done CITP. And I think any reasonable Dominican will recognize that these were decisions that we had to make, not just for our own interests, but the wider best interests of the country. And this is why we did not do it. But I take the opportunity to say now that we are absolutely committed to the event. We will do it. We consistently and regularly budget for it. It's in our budget on a year-to-year basis. We try to become more cost-efficient like everybody else, a responsible business entity in the execution of the event, but we do it with a level of passion that will not be diminished in any way. Obviously, we're not a charitable organization. We're not an events planning organization, so we have to be responsible. But what I will say here, though, is that we have the absolute support of the superiors of our company, all the way out to our executive leadership team. They support what we're doing in Dominica, because recognizing we are part of this community. We can't just build a telecommunications infrastructure without being concerned about the people that infrastructure is supposed to serve and the communities in which that infrastructure is serving. And so we are part of this community, and we will commit ourselves and our resources without any level of fear or any anxiety. We will commit our resources towards the promotion, the preservation of our cultural heritage. We'll commit our resources towards building our people, our communities, and our country. And that we'll do on a consistent basis. With respect to our core business, which is telecommunications, we have demonstrated over the years that we're serious about what we do, in the same way that we have pioneered with CITP, and we continue to be, I think, unchallenged in that we do a quality event. We do it with the same diligence. We do it with the same passion that we implement when we run in our core business. We continue to put that same diligence, that same passion into running our core business, which is telecommunications. We do this through the investments we've made in building back our network after Hurricane Maria. And while there are still some citizens across Dominica who do not have maybe telecommunication services in the same way that they would have had it prior to Hurricane Maria, what I can say to you, though, is that it is clear that we are serious about building a new Dominica with respect to telecommunications. We are building out a state-of-the-art fixed high-speed internet network, and we have done that across the country in several ways. We are building out a state-of-the-art IPTV product that is unparalleled in this market, and I say this without any fear of contradiction, that we do have a television product that stands without any challenge in terms of being the most dynamic, the most state-of-the-art, in terms of the features and the benefits that you get. The content lineup is superior to what exists in this market, and this is something that we continue to do, and we continue to roll out one home at a time, one community at a time across Dominica. We do it in terms of products and services that we put out, and Fudina spoke this morning about our always-on plan and some of the special promotions we'll have around the independent season. But generally, we've always been very dynamic in following what the market indicators are saying to us and implementing and developing propositions that will add more value to our customers. This is something that we continue to do.
So just to say on this, net, we've been a telecommunications provider in this market from the 1930s. We have obviously been forced to adjust our business model in many ways. I think this is the only way you can continue to be relevant. If we've been here from the 1930s, and I think arguably we can still say that we are the strongest, largest telecommunications provider in Dominica, I think we would have only gotten to that place because of the seriousness in which we run our business. We've been dynamic, we have evolved, but we continue to be relevant. And that relevance is built by following customer feedback. We respond to feedback that we acquire from the market, and we adjust our business to ensure that we meet the needs and deliver the value that customers are asking for in this market. As I stand here now, as I said, I offer our unwavering commitment to this country, and Mr. Roy, you can take it back to the minister that we will continue to stand with the government as you continue to promote our culture. I think our cultural heritage is that one thing that makes us uniquely Dominican, and so while we may have diverse views on several other issues, on the question of cultural heritage, we all stand at the same place. And if you think about it, this is one area that we can stand together at the same place where we have no divergent views. We are all Dominican, right? And we're seriously committed about the preservation and promotion of that cultural heritage. For me, it's really about encouraging every single Dominican to be serious about the role that you play as an individual within the whole question of promoting and preserving our culture. We all can do it in different ways. I think for the average Dominican, it's really about participating fully in all the activities. We start with CITP, but I think there are other activities around the independence calendar of events that I want to encourage every Dominican to participate and participate fully. I think, again, it's really about saying to you that all our colleagues at Cable & Wireless, we stand ready to support. We stand ready to provide state-of-the-art premium telecommunication services to you. We do our best to ensure that our customers get good value from us. And where we fall short from time to time, we commit fully to do better and to ensure that we maintain a consistent high level of service to all our customers in this market. I encourage you to continue to support Flow because we have demonstrated over the years that we're serious about putting back some of our resources into the building of our communities and our country. I listened here to Danger Dane suggesting that he came to Dominica about 11 years ago. And Dane, if you remember, maybe 11 years ago, we partnered with you when you first came to Dominica in an activity at the Carib Territory. And that's where I met you for the very first time. 11 years ago, we were already supporting Dane in some activity. I remember it was some sort of production that placed emphasis on the Kalinago people. It was done on RETV. Yeah, absolutely. And we were there in supporting that. So it is not just a matter of words for me. We are serious about matching our words with action, and that commitment will continue. So thank you very much again for being here. I think I want to thank all my colleagues, and I always say to Fodina that while we are the voice and the face of the company, what we do and what we say it and do it on behalf of several other colleagues who support us in the back end, that we can't commit resources if we don't have colleagues who are doing well in serving customers in the back. And so I say thank you to you, and I encourage you to continue to commit your best effort to ensuring that we maintain our brand integrity, that we continue to deliver top quality service to all our customers. And because we're human beings, we will miss it. On some occasions, we may not always get it right. But what I always ask of you is to commit to do better the next time. And that I consistently see coming from our people. So I close again, Freddie, by saying thank you very much for being here over the years. And we surely deeply apologize for the glitch in the line of production, but you surely have your place. And that certainly will not change, at least under my watch while I'm here at Cable & Wireless. So thank you very much for joining us, and I say see you at CITP and continue to support Cable & Wireless and continue to support Flow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. And on behalf of the core committee and the rest of the colleagues, we continue to give you our commitment to work hard and still do our jobs and make sure we do a good job with executing Creole in the Park as well. Thank you for your remarks. I will open up now if we have any questions from the media. Sure, Delma. I will hand over to my general manager to answer to that.
It was not, but maybe I wish it was, but it was not. You're correct that Triple K is not on the lineup, and for me, it's regrettable, but Triple K is a band that has always been part of the CITP lineup from the inception, but this year, unfortunately, we were unsuccessful in our negotiations to get them to play at CITP. And I say negotiations because it seemed to me that this year we had to enter into some extensive negotiations to try to convince them to do what I think they've done ordinarily, seamlessly over the last 13 years, thereabout. We did, in fact, just for the record, since you've asked the question, I feel obligated to just give some detail around it so that there is no misconception out there. We did, in fact, like we do with all the other bands and performers that we invite to CITP, we reached out formally to Triple K and offered, as we have always done over the years, with every other band, we offered the date, the day, we offered a performance fee, and we offered the time at which we would like them to perform at CITP. And the band firstly directed us to their booking agent, who is someone I think who works out of Trinidad, and immediately came back to us and did not accept our initial suggestion. He did not accept the day, he did not accept the time, and he also did not accept the performance fee that we proposed, which is a performance fee that we have paid for in previous years, which we consider to be very fair. In fact, it is a performance fee that, when we look at all our numbers, equates to more than what we pay most of the other local bands. So because of our continued passion to promote all our local groups, and I think Triple K deserves to be on the CITP stage because they are maybe one of our most successful and popular bands, and we think that they deserve to always be part of CITP, which is where we expose our talent, our accomplished local talent, to the rest of the population. And so we negotiated, we felt we were negotiating, so we accepted, one, to adjust the performance fee and accept to some extent what they will counter proposing, which is still high, significantly higher than what we've paid in the past, and significantly higher than what we're paying every other local artist on this lineup. What we accepted, as I said, with a commitment to want to present a very popular and successful local band to the rest of the Dominican population. So we moved on that one point. We also moved on the second point, which is the day. Initially, we proposed the Tuesday, which is the opening day. They felt no, they needed to get the Wednesday. So we moved again on that point and got them onto the Wednesday. We had them at a time that we felt was reasonable, a time that we could not adjust any further, so they were going to be scheduled for somewhere about 4:15 on the Wednesday. So 4:15 on the Wednesday, recognizing that CITP is a daytime event. It starts at 12, and it extends into the early evening. So 4:15, in my view, is prime time, if you ask me. So we moved performance fee, we moved. On the day, we moved, so we shifted from Tuesday to Wednesday, where we had the opportunity to shift. 4:15 we felt was a good time. They again rejected, and they felt that through their, when I say they, through their booking agent, felt that he insisted that he needed, yes, the Wednesday, but he prescribed the time that the band would play on the Wednesday. We responded to suggest that we could not accommodate, not because we were trying to be stubborn, but because we had no opportunity to adjust, because we had signed contracts with the other performers who were scheduled for the time that they wanted to play. And so we said we will maintain, we have increased the performance fee, we've shifted from Tuesday to Wednesday, and at that point he still rejected. And he rejected in such a way where he drew a line in the sand. If you can't give what we're asking for, which is the particular time on the Wednesday, the band unfortunately will not perform. That, and I'm giving all of this detail because I think for me it's very touching, because I do not believe it is in the best interest of our culture and our art form. So he rejected and said, well, if you can't, well, thank you very much, we'll move on, right? That happened on a Friday. Again, me not usually accepting no very easily, although I could have felt slighted. The guy, I think, is being a bit unreasonable. I attempted to negotiate directly with a senior member of the band over the weekend, and I attempted to say, well, I think we were being reasonable, and I think you could and you should. And I was asked to, again, send another email, just again reinforcing our position. I did. So although I was rejected on the Friday, on Monday, I again humbled myself in the best interest of the event and the best interest of the population, and I responded. I said, please reconsider. We're maintaining the performance fee. We think the time we're giving you on a Wednesday is good, and we can't adjust any further, and the gentleman still rejected. And so this is where we are. So I have given you all the detail, seem long-winded, but again, I think everyone needs to understand. So it is not that we had not attempted, so there should be absolutely no question in your minds that we attempted to get what we believe is one of our top performing bands on our event. They've always been part of CITP from the inception, and I personally felt very disappointed that this year that they rejected and appeared to be very inflexible in the way that they engaged us. But this is what it is, and this is where we left it.
Any further questions? That's it for the questions? And I will just here state that everything that Mr. Baptist shared here is absolutely correct, because I am also involved in the communication. Okay, so moving on, we're getting ready to wrap things up here. Before we wrap up, I have to just say to you, I want to just thank the lady who made my dress today. Her name is Vernie Moise. This is one from her Independence collection that she made just for me, just for today. So thank you very much to Vernie Moise for this one. Again, thank you to our partners, the Government of Dominica, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Discover Dominica Authority, Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division, the Dominica Police Force, Dominica National Lottery, Petro-Carib, Josephine Gabriel and the Company Limited, HHV Whitchurch and the Company Limited, J.R. Stefan and Company Limited, Tropical Shipping, Sunstone, Dominica Water and Sewage Company, DOWASCO, Deepex Color Lab, the Government Information Service, DBS Radio, Vibes Radio, Q95 FM Radio, and Kyrie FM. All of these stations, of course, today carried our event live, and we thank you for partnering with us for the 14th edition of the Flow Creole in the Park. I wish to thank everyone who made the effort to be here with us today. P.S. Thank you. Kathy, thank you very much. Officer, thank you. Mr. Burton, Miss Dominica, Freddie, the mayor, Edgar, Auntie Pearl, Danger Dane, colleagues, media, everybody, thank you so much. Major Mystic, thank you so much for joining us here today for the official media launch of the Flow Creole in the Park. We will see you from the 22nd at the scenic and beautiful Tranquil Botanical Gardens in the heart of the city. Come prepared to take advantage of all of our offers, and don't forget you'll be hearing a lot more about our 41 in collaboration with Dominica's 41st anniversary of independence. I hope I didn't forget anything. No glitch, GM, no more glitches. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being here, and we will see you soon again. Thank you. Oh, we do have some refreshments for you. Very good exposure.
Who asked that?
Delma, DBS.
So you see a good thing somebody
Yes,
else picked it up.
yes, yes. Well, Jeffrey, you know how that glitch probably happened. You remember when you had told me to switch around?
Yeah.
They suspect put it back in.
And you know, I didn't get to look at it yesterday again because I was on the road a lot.
Oh, you think you would have picked it up,
well,
maybe?
Maybe I would have picked it up. Yeah, man.